Everybody, so I was not planning on uploading today, but I made a few series of TikToks and I actually wanted to share it to my YouTube channel. So I came across this video on TikTok of these two super misogynistic people, of course, giving dating advice because that's always what misogynistic people like to do. And I did 4 stitches of that video and I'd like to share those with you now. So if you're not familiar with TikTok, let me explain what a stitch is. So a stitch allows you to, right in the app, take a portion of the video that you're stitching and then after a few seconds, your video will start where you are giving your commentary or your reaction or whatever it is you wanted to add. This one really hit home for me because I feel like this is an important topic. I feel like it's very common for women to be told that they're doing something wrong if they actually want to feel close to someone in a relationship, if they actually want their emotional needs to be met, if they actually, want to have a partner in life. And I think it's really sad and frankly kind of lame that people actually expect women to just accept that. So anyways, without further ado, here are the TikToks I wanted to show you. And going forward, I will be uploading on Mondays.
Being able to be with a man in silence.
Why are the most misogynistic people always dating coaches? So for context, the question the man asks was basically, what do women do to harm the relationship? And she goes on to say that women should be able to sit with their man in silence. Why would... I can do that by myself when I'm single. The fuck I need a man for? I was in a kind of a casual relationship for several months, and I started having some pretty serious feelings for this guy, and I wanted it to become something more, and he did not. And emotionally, that was really rough for me. I have never felt that way for somebody. I mean, I really feel like he was the one that got away. Anyways, it kind of gave me an awakening, so to speak, as to the fact that, you know what, I am kind of lonely, and it would be nice to have somebody around in those moments when I really need somebody. But what they're describing is my worst nightmare. How dare a woman expect someone to support her, to be there for her? And that's the problem. Why should I pursue a relationship if I am going to be looked at like I am insane if I want anything out of that relationship? Why would I waste my time on that shit? That's just dumb. And of course, if you start saying things like that to someone who has a lot of great advice for dating or marriage or thinks their marriage is the best thing ever, I look at so many couples and I see so much tension between them and so much lack of communication. But what they want to tell me is that if I don't get out there and I don't try to get married and I don't get in a serious relationship, I might end up lonely. But so many of y'all out here are advocating for relationships in which the only way for you to survive in it is to accept feeling lonely. Baby girl, I can sit in silence without you. If that's all you're going to bring to the table, honey, you're not needed. You're unnecessary. I don't need you for that. I was single before you, I'll be single after you. Stop expecting women to settle for relationships that do not meet their needs. And I can appreciate that there are men who relate to what this guy is talking about. And I'm not saying that how a man feels in a relationship doesn't matter. But y'all really think you're doing something by telling women that they should get into relationships and just tolerate not getting what they fucking need out of it. Not acceptable. If you are going to shut me out, I will not show up for you. If I'm not interesting enough for you to talk to, I don't really need you. And sometimes I do feel lonely and I do wish I had somebody, but it's a hell of a lot better than coming home to a household of tension and feeling like I'm not welcome there. Hell no.
Partners is we view the silence as a negative, and we go into...
If you are not going to let me into your life, then we don't have a relationship. Okay? So, not interested in pursuing that, not interested in getting into that. Either you support me or you fucking don't. It's really that simple. And it is so insane that these misogynistic dating coaches, they act like they're out here trying to heal and help relationships when their message is that men should be focused on getting what they need from a relationship or they should move on. Women should accept, I need to do these things to keep this man happy, but if I want things, well, these are the sacrifices that one just really has to make a relationship work. No. And I find that it's so common for women to be mocked if they bring this up in a relationship. I don't feel close to you. I don't feel like you're letting me in. I don't know where I stand with you half the fucking time. Those are legitimate concerns, and to act like they're not is preposterous. Yes, it is negative to not know where you stand with somebody in a relationship. And if that's how someone makes you feel, ooh, they don't deserve to be in a relationship with you. Uh-oh. Shit like this is why more and more people are choosing to be single. And wanting to be an active part of somebody's life because you're in a relationship with them, that is bar on the floor type of expectation. There's nothing extreme about that. There's nothing demanding about that. That's the basics. That's kind of the point of being in a relationship. And this kind of mentality, it's like you expect women to allow themselves to be really, really uncomfortable for the sake of making the man happy. Well, guess what, man? Where's your sacrifice? If you are with someone and you know that they feel that you are being very distant to them and you don't want to talk because that makes you uncomfortable, why should one person have to sacrifice for the relationship? Y'all can complain about people choosing to stay single, but shit like this is why. I can sit in my room in silence all by myself, dollface. If you can't let me in, if you can't treat me like I am someone who is important to you in your life, then I don't need you. You're not important to me. And if I matter to you so little that you can't consider my needs in a relationship, oh, pumpkin. Oh, honey, there will be no considering your needs in the relationship. Absolutely not. Totally unacceptable. Women have more options now. Y'all might want to keep that in mind. If being in a relationship is going to be just as heartbreaking as being single, yeah, I'll take feeling lonely and being single than being lonely and being in a relationship any day of the week.
Or to fill in the silence, to feel like we are having a relationship instead of...
So there are more stitches coming of this video. The gaslighting is real. The gaslighting is insane. So let me get this straight. I'm supposed to desire a relationship with a man. But if I want anything from this relationship, I am being demanding. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, take a seat. No, ma'am. Now, I will be the first to admit that a lot of my personal decisions regarding dating have not been the best. A lot of people feel that way. But what bothers me the most is how many times I was treated like I was doing something demanding or wrong for wanting the bare fucking minimum. Women are not out of line for wanting their emotional needs to be met. That is preposterous. Women are not out of line for wanting to talk about issues in a relationship. Women are certainly not out of line for wanting to know where they stand with their partner. All of this is really basic stuff that shouldn't be hard. It really is the bare minimum. But no, it's demanding or nagging if women want to feel content and comfortable in a relationship. Again, why are people like this always dating coaches? Maybe that's why relationships today are so fucked up, frankly. The message is that the needs of a woman don't matter in relationships. Period. Okay. Then stop complaining. Stop complaining. I am sick and tired of hearing about how women are being single because they hate men, or because they're too feminist, or all these other bullshit excuses. There's quite a variety of reasons out there that people give. But a large part of it is women realizing they don't have to settle anymore for men who don't care what they need from the relationship. They don't have to settle for one-way street relationships. If I want to feel like I don't matter, sweetie, I can do that sitting by myself in a room. I don't need a man sitting across from me to drive that point home. That's not necessary. And I'm not going to be in a relationship like that. I will not tolerate a relationship like that. And you know what? If that means that I am single for the rest of my life, then holy shit, that's what it means. It is not wrong. It is not hurting men to want the bare minimum from relationships. And if that's really how men want to be, again, quit complaining about women not dating. I can do single all by myself. I'm not going to go date someone and get in a relationship just so I can feel single all the time. Because I could just stay single. The gaslighting to make women feel like they're out of line for wanting the bare minimum in relationships, that's not going to fly. We don't gotta date and get in relationships if we don't want to.
Particular, not all, but many of the women I counsel, and it's silence. You ever
So to sum up, the woman spends most of the video explaining that women need to be able to sit with their man in silence instead of, having bare minimum expectations for like a relationship, interaction, actually being engaged and involved with somebody, the stuff you actually want if you get into a relationship. So much gaslighting, it's insane. But it gets even better. So she basically does the whole thing that if the man is being silent and we dare to be bothered by that, that's our own insecurities and we're making him responsible for how we feel. How dare us? How dare us? But then the man suggests that it's a weapon that can be used in a relationship. Hello? Maybe that's why women want to know where they stand in a relationship. And maybe it's actually kind of fucking reasonable to want to know where you stand in a relationship. I think that's just, again, this is basic stuff. This is basic stuff. Wanting to know where you stand with somebody, wanting to know whether or not you guys are okay in this relationship, wanting to know if there are issues that are going to come up in this relationship, and wanting to just have that everyday interaction and support with somebody in a relationship. That's basic stuff. That's what people are in relationships for. I can sit in my room and feel sorry for myself without a relationship. So if that's what you're going to make me do when I'm in a relationship with you, ooh, looks like I don't need a relationship with you. But he admits that it's something that women should be concerned about. He admits that silence on the part of men, that closing women out, is a weapon that they can use against women. These are the kind of sick people who want to guide our relationships. And people really want to sit around and go, why are so many people struggling with relationships? Why are so many people lonely? Why are so many people leaving relationships? Because they're unhappy. I have seen so many people settle for relationships that weren't good enough for them and resenting each other and using stupid little tactics to weaponize emotions against each other. People settle for stuff like that. And I think it's stupid. I think you deserve a little bit of self-respect in this world. If you are not as close to your partner as you want to be, that is a valid concern. Don't let any dumbass with a podcast tell you different. We don't have to settle for these kind of mentalities. And I know I've mentioned a lot being single and how that's not really that bad of a thing. And I'm not trying to shit on people who are in relationships, but we got to look at relationships in a more positive way. If relationships are not about being there for each other and supporting each other, then fuck relationships. I haven't made the best decisions in dating, and you know what? What bothers me the most is how many times I was treated like I was being unreasonable if I wanted the bare minimum. We don't have to talk every second of the day, but I need you to be there for me and support me, and honey, if you can't do that, bye.